I played Hearts of Iron 4 starting as the worst nation I could find, namely my own home country of Tunisia. We start with a whopping one factory we can't build with and are surrounded by colonial nations. As bad as this is, I saw a decision to restore Al-Andalus, and if there's one thing I like more than people liking the video and subscribing, it's that dopamine rush I get from forming a nation in a Paradox game, making me feel like I finally achieved something for once. So watch as I attempt to live out my fantasies of Tunisia being a relevant nation in a game I barely know how to play. We begin briefly as France to release Tunisia, and then we have to take a quick 10-minute break for a shower as I cleanse my soul after having associated with something French. Side note, we're playing as historical AI off because my mother didn't raise a coward. She raised an idiot. We can tell this because the Germans, who I'd been banking on to stay fascist so I could fight the French, immediately had a civil war. That's not good. Upon releasing Tunisia, we have Habib Bourguiba in charge. Quick Tunisian history lesson you didn't ask for. This was our first president and dictator that was beloved by the people for various reasons, one of which was leading the independence movement. To play this game, I'm going to have to depose him in favor of a communist or fascist leader, meaning technically it comes under unpatriotic acts in Tunisia. Now feels like a good time to mention Tunisia ranks lower in freedom than Haiti and Niger. I swear to God, if I get arrested because of Hoi 4 of all games, I'm gonna be pissed. Anyway, given Germany has fallen to the liberal woke monarchists, we're gonna rely on Papa Stalin and turn communist. Right, Abdelhamid Sarai, it's your time to shine. Now we have our aims in order. Let me show you the decision for the Moorish restoration. To restore Al-Andalus, we need to control the south of Iberia, which means fighting Portugal and also Spain. I would also like to point out to Paradox that this is a map not showing anything close to Iberia. I mean, it barely shows Tunisia. I think it's trying to show the Arabian Empire, but I'm just going to make a comment about them thinking all Arabs look alike and move on. Perhaps as a result of me playing the race card, the Spanish Civil War fired. Alright, Spanish Civil War's up. We need the nationalists to win. So the Soviets will help us fight against them. I'm kind of concerned if the communists win, the Soviet Union might not be so keen for them to be destroyed. However, this will end up being one of the longest Spanish Civil Wars I've seen in this game. So place your bets on who you think will win in the comments. Oh, we actually have factories now. How? How do we, from trade? So some nations had actually decided to purchase Tunisian steel, which means we have factories that can actually build things. This is nice because I'd previously selected the decision to improve worker conditions when we had no factories, which I imagine the unemployed workers of Tunisia didn't find very funny. I did though. This entire time, I've been slowly increasing our communist base. Once we get above 50%, Hoi 4 has a mechanic where we can immediately call for elections and become communist. Communist state of Tunisia. That's such a cool flag. I don't want to be racist, but sure, okay. Yeah. Now, I want it on record that I don't want Tunisia to become a communist nation in real life. However, a flag goes kind of hard. I mean, look at it. I'm not saying I want to lose what little freedoms we have in Tunisia, but that flag kind of has me thinking collectivized agriculture doesn't sound too bad. I'm not the only one that thinks this either. Look at that communist Tunisian flag.
Ooh, that's sexy.
Hell yeah.
That is so sexy.
That is a great flag.
That fits so well.
I know.
From a graphic design point of view, that's lovely.
I know. I'm going to commit war crimes under that flag.
Alright, I can't endorse any actions taken by the flag, but I can endorse the graphic design of the flag.
Okay. Now that we have a flag, all we need is a plan. Okay, so we have a tiny population, which suggests to me that we should probably use tanks. Problem is, I am an idiot. I don't know how tanks work, so we're going to try. This tank thing is the kind of thing I tell myself every single Hoi 4 game I start. It typically never happens. It's like trying to learn how to do Navy. Like, I understand I should. I just don't. Still, our own abilities don't mean much if we can simply ask the Soviets to intercede on our behalf. And just as Austria-Hungary gets restored, we join the Comintern. Restoration of Austria-Hungary, that's dangerous. Alright, Papa Stalin, let me in. Also get ourselves another research slot that we badly need. And now we have 7 whole factories. Let's take a second here because this is the high point. This is where things are going mostly according to plan and there's hope for the future. I mean, we have a larger industrial base now than Tunisia has in real life. However, it's all downhill from here. And I mean immediately, as the Soviets decide to descend into civil war. This is not good. Oh, this is not what we wanted. Come on, Papa Stalin, you can do this. Then things go from bad to worse as my beautiful bold bow is betrayed by a belligerent Balbo. Who the hell is Italo Balbo? Where's Mussolini? What? Okay. Like I said, Tunisian industry has been booming. It's been booming so much that we can't build anything else because we have no slots. Done our job too well. We can't even build air defenses because we haven't figured out the technology to shoot up yet. By that I mean we don't have any anti-air researched. So I decided to prove Hoi 4 is a fantasy game and play really ahistorical by building trains in Tunisia. This is something I can guarantee to you that has never happened in real life. I then made the mistake of looking over at Russia. maybe hoping Uncle Joe had something in his back pocket. Oh no, okay, He did not. No. No, oh god. So now we're on our own. I had to come up with a new plan. This is particularly challenging for me as I have the hoi 4 game ability of Dankus, if he'd been in a terrible accident. Which he will be after he beat me in Mechabellum in a Spiffing Brit video. I have not forgotten this. It was my only hope. My new plan involved the only nation I pity more than us. Portugal. See, Portugal has entered the Spanish Civil War, which means they are fighting, something that the Portuguese are bad at. My new plan is to attack the Portuguese from Spain after getting military access, and take it for myself after they've been weakened in the war. World tension's up to 72%. 72! I've not done anything! I can only blindly ascribe this to Britain decolonizing, proving the world would be a better place if we held onto the empire and kept protecting the people. Historically nuance takes aside, we now have our first army. Our communist utopia is so unbelievably equal that our leader, our general, and our field commander all look the exact same. These three have done very, very well considering the demographic makeup of Tunisia at the time as well as the social context. Either that or Paradox doesn't have many Arab portraits in this game. I'm noticing something suspicious here. Lads, I know we're communists, but that doesn't mean we all have to look the same. I mean, that's a lot. Between this and the Al-Andalus map, I'm starting to think that Paradox thinks that Arabs don't really exist. New mythical creature status acquired, it's time for us to assault Portugal. I secured military access through Spain and sent over our boys, but the Portuguese cheated by using boats to sink a few divisions. Okay, some of the boys did get taken out. After we sent several letters to their families describing them as undesirables, a few managed to arrive and join the Spanish cause, which we're hoping fails. Whilst our troops aren't bad per se, they're not exactly top quality. We've been on 2 research slots most of the game, and we start with basically no tech, so it's a miracle we're not heading in with just spears alone. With this in mind, I developed a novel, innovative new tactic called Going Around the Enemy, in which we went around the enemy. I was kind of hoping Spain would fight the Portuguese troops and the AI would take pity on my struggles and let me simply walk into the cities. Weirdly enough, they actually did this, and we went ahead and capitulated Portugal. Okay, nice. I'm not gonna lie, this was a weird moment for me. I was fully intending on this being the end of the video, and then I could go and have dinner. But we actually won. Previously, I was kind of lying about my aspirations in the intro, but this got me thinking, if we could actually form Al-Andalus. As we set about oppressing the Portuguese, I looked over to Europe to discover that Germany and Austria had decided to get the band back together, which could cause problems for me if they decided to intervene in Spain. Okay, there's a Central European alliance going on, which is kind of worrying. I don't know what I can do about that. The reason the Civil War was taking so long is because of volunteers. The Soviets were initially dominating the battlefield, but then they had their own civil war, and so the volunteers went home, meaning the Italian volunteers that were present on the fascist side got the upper hand. Then the new Soviets sent volunteers again, thus balancing things. That's a lot of words for I have no idea what's going on in Spain. What I do know is that the English have just turned communist. They've also somehow kept control of the Allies whilst decolonizing. And what's more is that they're taking new members. With tears in my eyes, I accepted, as we're now back on track, because I have a large communist ally that will help me fight the Spanish. So we're back to the original plan. They're also at war with Mexico and Japan. I have no idea why, but I'm sure as hell not accepting the call to arms. I joined this faction for my own personal benefit, not theirs, which is why I immediately became Spy Master, even though I have no idea what it does. I'll add it to my 3 university degrees as accolades that I have but never use because I make videos on the internet. I'm not clicking these buttons. Speaking of useless things, we've also started to produce tanks. At this point, we're prepping for war against Spain as Europe explodes into war. The Germans and the Austrians are fighting the Italians, who are fighting the Greeks and the Russians, who will soon declare on the Germans, but yeah, I stopped trying to figure it out, I'm sorry. As long as they keep out of Spain, I'm happy. My plan for Spain was simple. I'd sit on this fallback line in Portugal and just wait for my allies to flood in. However, this never happened. I waited, but only a few British Marines came. After staying like this for a little while, it meant that I had to win the Spanish War by myself. However, fortunately for me, we'd learned some tricks from the Portuguese War to fight a superior but numerically inferior Spanish force. Despite this being one of the stupidest and ugliest strategies I've ever used, which has guaranteed me a place in Paradox Hell, what would that even look like? I guess like forced to play Millennia and Empire of Sin. That's Paradox Hell. Anyway, despite it being a stupid strategy, it actually worked. And after some back and forth with the Brits over which islands they wanted, predictably, we came out with the Spanish Navy and all of Iberia in our name. The Tunisian People's Republic then turned into the workers' paradise of Andalusia. That means we can restore Al-Andalus. That is the worst flag I've ever seen. As we gain cause on all of Iberia. That solves our manpower and also industry issues. Very nice. But that's not enough for me. I am a certified map gamer, which means I need a continuous border. And so, it's time to pay the French a little visit. And in case you thought, hey, maybe Lath is actually kind of competent at this game. Whilst trying to get my navy off of Task Force, I accidentally deleted the entire navy. The one I'd nicked from the Spanish and Portuguese, as well as all the submarines I've been building this entire game. I deleted them all. It's a good start. I'd also forgotten that Iberia and France actually have a land border, and so I placed all of my troops on the Tunisian-Algeria border. I did eventually realize, but it took an embarrassingly long time for this realization to take place. I almost didn't include this in the video. It's a genuine miracle we've made it this far. Our tanks were finally ready, and we had a nation to colonize. Now, they have taken northern Morocco, and the French have joined the Japanese. Can't say I saw that coming. Yeah, it went a lot quicker than I decided to attack from 2 different angles. Welcome to the deserts. All right, we have actually broken through. Nice. All right, push now. Okay, the tanks are working. I am shocked. The French have left the front lines. You know what? I'm just going to send in the boys. Do with that information what you will. I wonder how ridiculous do I go with this? We already have, like, no supplies. I'm going to, you know what, screw it. We're going all the way. I'm going to try and come off completely. Again, all right, the tanks are going. They've made it most of the way there. I'm going to do it. I'll go straight to Paris. We actually have almost encircled the entire French army here. Okay. Is this it? Did we take the entire southern front encircled? What about Tunis? Tunisia's going well. They did cut off my tank, but it is still approaching Paris. This is going a lot better than I thought it would. I'm not gonna lie, I had plans for this to be like oh, this is it, it's over kind of vibe, but no, this is good. USA's at war with the Mexican junta. You know what? We're gonna ignore that. Just focus on our front. Right, we're approaching Paris now. We have absolutely no supply. I should probably start, like, thinking about that. Oh, they're encircled. My tank's just gonna walk in. Okay, maybe we extend out this front line. We took Paris, nice. Let's extend out this front line just a little bit so it's not just, you know, an inch thick. Or we could just go straight for Calais. Running straight for Calais sounds more fun, so let's do that. Oh, okay. France eventually fell, and it was time to clear up North Africa for those sweet, sweet continuous borders. And all we had to do... Morocco? Morocco gets the land. Why Morocco here? They're a British puppet? Yeah, no, I'm done with this video. Like, subscribe, whatever, I'm out.
Huge shout out to my Patreons. Most importantly, Redguard76, Lewis Wright, Ryan B, Atreides, Blenderman, Crilly, Ghostwolf, JadeOwl52, Sjalmi, Luque, Matthew McHugh, Mike473, Mikey Lewis, Original, ShadowSinger, and Tom. Your support means a lot, guys. Also here, why not watch another video? I mean, it's right there. Just click on it.